Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to stand before you today to speak about a matter that transcends time and touches the very essence of our being, the secret to stronger relationships. It is a subject that resonates deeply within the heart of every individual, for we are all bound by the intricate web of human connection. From the bonds of family and friendship to the ties of community and society, relationships form the foundation of our existence and define the legacy we leave behind. In a world that often feels fragmented and divided, the quest for stronger relationships has never been more vital. We live in an age where technology connects us across vast distances, yet many hearts remain distant and isolated. We are surrounded by countless voices, yet many souls cry out in loneliness. It is in this very paradox that we find the profound truth. The strength of our relationships does not lie in the abundance of communication, but in the depth of connection. True connection is rooted in love, compassion, and understanding. It is not merely about sharing words, but about sharing hearts. It is not about seeking to be heard, but about seeking to understand. It is not about asserting our will, but about humbly serving one another. When we grasp these truths, we unlock the secret to building relationships that withstand the trials of time and adversity. Consider the power of selflessness. In a world that often promotes individualism and self-interest, the act of putting others before ourselves becomes a radical and transformative force. When we choose to listen with empathy, to forgive with grace, and to serve with humility, we foster bonds that are unbreakable. The greatest relationships are not those built on convenience or personal gain, but those forged in sacrifice and unwavering commitment. Moreover, the foundation of any strong relationship is trust. Trust is not built overnight. It is cultivated through consistency, honesty, and integrity. When we are truthful in our words and faithful in our actions, we create an environment where trust can flourish. Trust is the bridge that spans the chasm of misunderstanding and the anchor that steadies us in times of doubt. Without trust, relationships crumble. With trust, they endure and thrive. Another essential ingredient in the recipe for stronger relationships is forgiveness. None of us are perfect. We all stumble and fall short. Yet it is in the act of extending grace and mercy that relationships are restored and strengthened. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it paves the way for a future built on healing and reconciliation. When we choose to forgive, we release the burden of bitterness and open the door to renewed love and understanding. Furthermore, patience is a virtue that cannot be overlooked. Relationships are not instantaneous. They require time, effort, and perseverance. Just as a tree takes years to grow and bear fruit, so too do meaningful relationships require nurturing and care. We must be willing to endure seasons of hardship, to weather storms of conflict, and to celebrate moments of joy and triumph. Patience allows us to see beyond the imperfections of others and to embrace the beauty of the journey we share. Let us also consider the power of kindness. A simple act of kindness can soften the hardest heart and mend the deepest wounds. When we extend kindness to others, we reflect the very essence of humanity and create an atmosphere of warmth and acceptance. Kindness is the language that transcends barriers and unites souls. It is through acts of compassion and generosity that relationships are strengthened and communities are transformed. Communication, too, plays a vital role in fostering stronger relationships. Yet true communication goes beyond words. It involves active listening and genuine understanding. When we listen with an open heart and speak with sincerity, we bridge the gap between misunderstanding and unity. We must seek not only to express our thoughts, but to comprehend the thoughts and emotions of others. In doing so, we create an environment where love and respect can flourish. But above all, love remains the greatest force in building stronger relationships. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. When love is the foundation of our relationships, we are able to overcome any obstacle and conquer any fear. Love is the bond that unites hearts, the light that dispels darkness, and the hope that sustains us through the trials of life. As we reflect on these truths, let us remember that the strength of our relationships is not measured by the number of people we know or the applause we receive, but by the depth of the connections we foster in the lives we touch. When we embrace the principle of unconditional love, we begin to understand that true strength in relationships is not found in seeking perfection from others, but in accepting them with grace and compassion. Love sees beyond flaws. Love endures through hardships, and love triumphs over adversity. It is this love that binds families together, strengthens friendships, and unites communities. But how do we cultivate this kind of love? It begins with humility. When we humble ourselves, we recognize that we are not superior to others, nor are we entitled to perfection from those around us. Humility allows us to see the value and worth in every individual, regardless of their background, their mistakes, or their shortcomings. It opens the door to understanding and fosters a spirit of unity. When we lay aside pride and ego, we create space for empathy, compassion, and forgiveness to flourish. Another key to building stronger relationships is consistency. Relationships are not built on grand gestures or fleeting moments of kindness, but on the steady, day-by-day commitment to love and support one another. Consistency in our words, our actions, and our intentions builds trust and security. It shows others that we are reliable and dependable even in the face of challenges. In addition, gratitude is a powerful force that strengthens relationships. When we take the time to express appreciation for the people in our lives, we affirm their value and worth. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. It reminds us of the blessings we have and deepens our connection with others. A heart filled with gratitude is a heart that fosters joy, peace, and unity. We must also recognize the importance of vulnerability. In a world that often encourages us to hide our weaknesses and put on a facade of strength, vulnerability is a courageous act. It is in moments of vulnerability that true intimacy is born. When we are willing to share our fears, our struggles, and our dreams, we invite others to do the same. Vulnerability breaks down walls and creates a foundation of trust and authenticity. Let us not forget the role of forgiveness. In every relationship, there will be moments of misunderstanding, disappointment, and hurt, but the strength of a relationship is not measured by the absence of conflict, but by the willingness to forgive and reconcile. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength and maturity. When we forgive, we release the burden of resentment and create space for healing and restoration. Moreover, the gift of time is one of the most precious investments we can make in our relationships. In our fast-paced world where distractions abound and schedules are filled to the brim, it is easy to neglect the people who matter most. But true connection requires presence. It requires us to put away our devices, silence the noise of the world, and give our undivided attention to those we love. Time spent in meaningful conversation, shared experiences, and simple acts of kindness strengthens the bonds that hold us together. Patience, too, is essential in building lasting relationships. We live in an age of instant gratification, where we expect immediate results and quick solutions. But relationships are not built overnight. They require time, effort, and perseverance. We must be willing to endure seasons of growth, to navigate through difficulties, and to celebrate victories together. Patience allows us to see the beauty in the process and to cherish the journey. And what of honesty? Honesty is the foundation upon which trust is built. Without honesty, relationships crumble under the weight of deception and doubt. When we speak truthfully, act with integrity, and remain transparent in our intentions, we create an environment where trust can thrive. Honesty fosters openness, strengthens bonds, and deepens our connection with others. In the pursuit of stronger relationships, we must also practice compassion. Compassion moves us to extend kindness to those who are hurting, to offer support to those who are struggling, and to stand beside those who feel alone. Compassion softens hearts, heals wounds, and bridges divides. It is through compassion that we reflect the true essence of humanity and build relationships that are rooted in love and understanding. We must also recognize the power of encouragement. Words have the ability to uplift or tear down, to inspire or discourage. When we speak words of encouragement, we breathe life into the souls of others. We affirm their worth, ignite their potential, and strengthen their spirit. A simple word of encouragement can transform a weary heart and restore hope to a broken soul. My friends, the secret to stronger relationships is not found in material wealth or worldly success. It is found in the way we love, serve, and uplift one another. It is found in humility, trust, forgiveness, and compassion. It is found in the willingness to give, to listen, and to understand. It is found in the quiet moments of selflessness, the gentle acts of kindness, and the unwavering commitment to stand by one another through every trial and triumph. You see, the strength of a relationship is not tested in times of comfort and ease, but in moments of adversity. It is when storms rage and uncertainties arise that the true depth of our love and commitment is revealed. When we choose to remain steadfast in love, to extend grace in moments of failure, and to offer comfort in times of sorrow, we build relationships that can weather any storm. But dear friends, we must also understand that the heart of stronger relationships lies in humility. For it is in humility that we learn to listen, to understand, and to serve. When we let go of the desire to always be right, when we set aside our pride and embrace the needs and feelings of others, we create an environment where love can flourish. Humility is the key that unlocks hearts and tears down walls of division. And how often do we underestimate the power of presence? In a world where distractions are endless and time seems fleeting, the simple act of being present with those we love holds immeasurable value. When we give our full attention, when we set aside our own concerns to truly listen and engage, we show others that they are valued and cherished. Presence speaks louder than words. It communicates love, respect, and devotion. Another truth we must embrace is that love is not merely an emotion, but a choice. Feelings may fade, circumstances may change, but love that is rooted in commitment and sacrifice endures. Love chooses patience when anger rises. Love chooses forgiveness when hurt lingers. Love chooses compassion when judgment beckons. It is this unwavering, selfless love that strengthens the bonds between us and transforms relationships from fragile to unbreakable. Furthermore, the secret to strong relationships lies in unity. Division and discord thrive when we allow selfishness and pride to take root. But when we walk in unity, seeking harmony and understanding, we create a bond that cannot be broken. Unity does not mean we always agree or share the same perspective, but it means we choose to stand together, valuing one another's differences and working toward common purpose. Let us also not forget the power of words. Words can heal or wound, build up or tear down. When we speak words of encouragement, love, and affirmation, we breathe life into the hearts of those around us. But when we allow criticism, anger, or bitterness to take hold of our tongue, we cause harm that may take years to mend. Therefore, let us speak with wisdom and kindness, building others up rather than tearing them down. And my friends, we must understand that true intimacy in relationships is born out of vulnerability. When we have the courage to open our hearts, to share our fears, our struggles, and our dreams, we invite others to do the same. Vulnerability creates a bond of trust and authenticity that cannot be forged through superficial conversations or shallow interactions. It is when we are willing to be seen for who we truly are that the deepest connections are formed. Yet, in our pursuit of stronger relationships, we must never neglect the power of patience. For love is patient. Relationships require time to grow, to heal, and to flourish. We must be willing to endure through seasons of misunderstanding, to extend grace in moments of weakness, and to trust in the process of growth. Patience allows us to see beyond temporary struggles and embrace the beauty of the journey. Moreover, the foundation of all lasting relationships is built on respect. When we honor and value others, not for what they can give us, but for who they are, we create an atmosphere of trust and dignity. Respect allows us to celebrate differences, to embrace diversity, and to learn from one another. It is through respect that we cultivate an environment where love can thrive and unity can be restored. But my friends, there is one truth that surpasses all others. Love never fails. It is love that mends broken hearts. It is love that restores what has been lost. It is love that bridges the divide between souls. When we love without condition, when we give without expectation, and when we forgive without hesitation, we unlock the secret to relationships that are unshakable and eternal. In the end, the strength of our relationships will not be measured by the moments of joy we shared, but by the trials we endured together. It will not be measured by the words we spoke, but by the love we demonstrated. It will not be measured by the applause of the world, but by the quiet acts of kindness and sacrifice that no one else saw. And so I urge each of you today, choose love, choose compassion, choose forgiveness, choose unity, for it is in these choices that we will discover the secret to stronger, deeper, and everlasting relationships. It is in these choices that hearts are healed, families are restored, friendships are strengthened, and communities are united. But let us not be deceived into believing that such love comes without effort or sacrifice. The path to stronger relationships requires intentionality and perseverance. It demands that we lay down our selfish desires and seek the good of others. It calls us to listen when we would rather speak, to serve when we would rather be served, and to forgive when we would rather hold on to resentment. Yet when we embrace this way of living, we discover a profound and life-changing truth, that in giving of ourselves, we receive the richest blessings. In loving others, we find joy. In serving others, we find purpose. And in forgiving others, we find freedom. You see, the world often teaches us that strength is found in power, control, and dominance. But the truth is that the greatest strength is found in humility, gentleness, and love. It is not the one who demands respect who builds strong relationships, but the one who gives respect. It is not the one who seeks to be served who finds fulfillment, but the one who serves others with a sincere heart. And how do we practice this in our daily lives? We begin by becoming peacemakers. In a world filled with conflict and division, those who pursue peace are a light in the darkness. When we choose to forgive instead of retaliate, when we seek reconciliation instead of revenge, and when we speak words of kindness instead of criticism, we break down walls and build bridges of unity. We must also be intentional in showing kindness. A kind word, a compassionate gesture, or a simple act of generosity can heal wounds and restore hope. Kindness is a language that transcends cultural and social barriers. It speaks to the heart and transforms lives. Let us also be faithful in our commitments. Too often relationships suffer because of broken promises and unfulfilled obligations. But when we are faithful, when we keep our word, stand by our loved ones in times of need, and remain steadfast in our love and support, we build a foundation of trust that cannot be shaken. And we must never underestimate the power of encouragement. There are people around us who are carrying heavy burdens, battling unseen struggles, and facing overwhelming challenges. A word of encouragement, a gesture of support, or a simple reminder that they are not alone can lift their spirits and give them the strength to persevere. But my friends, there is something even greater that strengthens relationships, and that is gratitude. When we cultivate a heart of gratitude, we begin to see the beauty in others. We stop focusing on their flaws and start appreciating their strengths. We become more patient, more compassionate, and more forgiving. Gratitude shifts our perspective and allows us to cherish the gift of the relationships we have been given. And let us not forget the importance of laughter, for laughter is the music of the soul. It brings joy to the heart and lightens the burdens of life. When we laugh with those we love, we create memories that last a lifetime and strengthen the bonds that unite us. But above all, we must love without condition. We must love when it is easy and love when it is hard. We must love when others are kind and love when they are unkind. We must love when we are appreciated and love when we are rejected. For true love is not based on circumstances or feelings. It is a choice we make each and every day. This kind of love requires great strength, great humility, and great courage. But it is this love that transforms hearts, heals wounds, and restores relationships. And so I ask you today, what kind of legacy will you leave behind? Will you be remembered for your wealth, your achievements, or your status? Or will you be remembered for the love you gave, the kindness you showed, and the lives you touched? For in the end, it will not matter how much we have gained, but how much we have given. It will not matter how many people knew our name, but how many people felt loved because of us. It will not matter how high we climbed, but how deeply we loved. Let us then commit ourselves to the pursuit of stronger relationships. Let us choose love over pride, compassion over judgment, and forgiveness over bitterness. Let us be patient, kind, and humble. Let us serve one another with joy and lift one another up in times of need. For when we do, we will not only strengthen our relationships, we will transform our families, our communities, and our world. And when our time on this earth comes to an end, we will leave behind a legacy that will endure for generations to come. A legacy of love, a legacy of unity, a legacy of stronger, unshakable relationships. And as we walk this path of love and unity, we will begin to see a profound change, not only in the lives of those around us, but within our own hearts. For when we pour out love, love is poured back into us. When we seek to lift others up, we ourselves are lifted. And when we forgive others, we experience the freedom and peace that can only come from a heart unburdened by bitterness. You see, my friends, the beauty of building stronger relationships is that it is not reserved for the powerful or the wealthy. It is not limited by age, status, or background. It is a gift that is available to all who are willing to walk in love and humility. The truth is, every interaction we have with another human being is an opportunity to bless, to encourage, to uplift, and to heal. We never know the battles others are facing. We never know the weight they carry or the silent struggles they endure. But a kind word, a gentle smile, or a compassionate gesture can make all the difference. We must also remember that strong relationships are not built in moments of perfection, but in moments of grace. We will make mistakes. We will fall short. We will hurt others, and others will hurt us. But it is in these moments that true strength is revealed. When we choose forgiveness over resentment, understanding over judgment, and love over rejection. Let us also be mindful of the power of listening. For listening is one of the greatest acts of love we can offer. When we listen with patience and empathy, we show others that they are valued, that their voice matters, and that their heart is heard. In a world that is often too busy to listen, being present and attentive is a gift that strengthens the bonds of friendship and love. And what of the gift of gentleness? The world often teaches us that strength is found in dominance and control, but true strength is found in gentleness and kindness. A gentle spirit calms anger, softens hearts, and brings peace to troubled souls. When we respond with gentleness in moments of tension and conflict, we disarm hostility and create space for healing and reconciliation. My friends, one of the greatest barriers to stronger relationships is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of being hurt. But fear is the enemy of love. It builds walls where love seeks to build bridges. It isolates us when love seeks to unite us, and it hardens our hearts when love seeks to soften them. But perfect love casts out fear. When we love with a pure and selfless heart, fear loses its grip. When we are willing to be vulnerable, to open our hearts, and to give without expectation, we experience the freedom and joy that comes from authentic connection. And what joy there is in walking alongside others in love. What joy there is in sharing laughter, in bearing one another's burdens, in celebrating victories, and in comforting one another through sorrow. These are the treasures of life that no amount of wealth or success can ever replace. But let us not grow weary in doing good. There will be times when our love is not reciprocated. There will be times when our kindness is met with rejection. There will be times when forgiveness feels impossible. Yet it is in these moments that love shines the brightest. For love is not measured by what we receive in return, but by what we give freely and unconditionally. The world is filled with brokenness, division, and pain, but we have the power to be instruments of healing and reconciliation. We have the power to mend what is broken, to bridge what is divided, and to restore what has been lost. And it begins with us. It begins with the way we speak to our children, the way we honor our parents, the way we serve our friends, the way we forgive those who have wronged us, the way we reach out to the lonely and the forgotten. It begins in our homes, in our workplaces, and in our communities. It begins when we choose love over pride, unity over division, and grace over judgment. And when we do, we will see relationships that were once strained restored. We will see friendships that were once broken renewed. We will see families that were once divided reconciled. This is the power of love. This is the secret to stronger relationships. But let us not delay. For time is fleeting and the opportunities before us are precious. If there is someone you need to forgive, forgive them today. If there is someone you need to encourage, encourage them today. If there is someone you need to love, love them today. Do not wait for tomorrow is never promised. Love while you still have the chance. Serve while your hands are still strong. Speak words of kindness while your voice can still be heard. And when your time on this earth has come to an end, you will have lived a life that truly mattered. A life that brought healing to the broken. A life that restored hope to the weary. A life that built relationships that will echo through eternity. And my friends, that is the greatest legacy we could ever leave behind. And so I leave you with this. Love deeply, forgive freely, serve humbly, walk in unity. For in doing so, you will unlock the secret to relationships that are not only stronger, but eternal. And when your journey on this earth is done, you will have touched hearts, changed lives, and left a legacy that will live on in the hearts of those you love. For in the end, it is not the wealth we accumulate or the achievements we gain that will be remembered, but the love we gave and the lives we impacted along the way. Thank you, and may love guide your steps always.